And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be carrying on the main story of Final Fantasy XIV for patch 6.0. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in Labyrinthos at 2134, and we need to talk to Alpha Node. The quest is called No Job Too Small. So Alpha Node is resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. If only Master Coco knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement. I propose this not to curry favour. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarise ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse, and if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. But that lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Alright, let's catch up with them and speak with Elise. Okay, we caught up with Alice and the gang, so let's talk to her. So from what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of the fresh inspiration Scholar Monty Chung mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. I'm butchering these names. Let's meet by the 8th right once our work is done. Okay, so I need to find the people to talk to. So let's go. Alright, so we found the first guy. Let's talk to him. So helping with the ARG, even with the power Master Coco's managed to squeeze out of the Aetherburner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived, horrible creatures running rampant all over. If we'd begun the Exodus sooner. People are dying and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment, believe in the plan, and all will be well. Alright. Let's find the next one. Okay, we've caught up to the next guy. So, oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the Aetherburner? Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out is tiring and it's thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few lugamies or what have you. The forum has got enough on their plate as it is, with what deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. Also, powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fulcinol and the others. How they get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Alright, next one. Okay, we caught up with the last person. So offering to help, that's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It mostly lists of things that we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope that they're not enormous, looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that behatted rabbit that ran by. Oh, alright. Let's search for the rabbit. Okay, we caught up with Living Way and the rest of them. I fancy meeting you here, Mithrie. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy bow, which was quite impressive considering that they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Aferis itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears that they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare, and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around. Or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Yurionche and your good self. Since we're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest? Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know if we have time. Okay, so the next one is called Wise Guides. So, try as he might, Yurionche cannot free himself of the Loporits. It's all Labyrinthos. An unexpected, yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this ethereal environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Shardian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perceptives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvellous idea. Might we begin with that great big what's it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's it. I shall leave its exclamation to Mithrie. Okay. So, yeah, let's catch up with them again. Okay, caught up with them, so let's talk to Singing Way. So, goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. I would if the camera behaved. Okay. Let's examine this. Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. And you may move the camera and zoom in and out with the mouse. Okay, it's one of those missions. Okay. Ooh. Okay, the tanks. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be the purifying water drawn up from below. Okay. Metallic cube. So is that water I hear from inside the great big tube? It must be because of the cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. Okay. So observe the mushroom-like thing. The mushroom-like thing? Oh, this. Duh. That looks like the trees in the greatest Endsvale. Hold on. That's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. For us Loparis, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that the peoples of Ephera sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Fanalan are built near an oasis. Areas near waterfalls are common sites for villages in Giribania. So, wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear that they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphinaud spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logistone Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loparits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlie and Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted here by the burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Loparits may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logistone Alpha? For my part, I shall act as an escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way. To the water extraction, what's it? Okay. Alright, let's catch up with them. Okay, so we caught up with them, and we have a fight here, so let's examine. I summoned my Chocobo to help out. Okay. Wrong button. I mean, combat as a healer is always really simple. It's like 2 buttons. Okay, let's keep going. Thank you so much. I really hope that this water extraction what's it is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Alright, let's catch up with them again. Okay, so we caught up with them. Let's talk to Urianger. So, my friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. Okay, so let's again catch up with them and talk to Singing Way. Okay, so we caught up with them up the lift, so let's talk to Singing Way. So, marvelous, simply marvelous. So, this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Aferis just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out to the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder. Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Cool. Alright. So the next quest is called Agriculture Shock. So Cooking Way is eager for a change of venue or at the very least a change of what's it. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where is the food? I believe both the knowledge and the consumables you seek may be found at Melial's Agromics. I can't even pronounce it. As I imagine Singing Way and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urianger was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention, Eferis will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. Fair enough. So speak with Cooking Way to accompany you. Alright, let's catch up to Cooking Way. Alright, so we caught up with Cooking Way. So this is a place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compodium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crop without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples? Cooking Way is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed. You can leave him behind. Okay, so right now Cooking Way is following us. So let's make sure he's not too far behind us. Alright, so let's talk to this Jebk. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mineshaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's all so sudden, so surreal, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their environment. So many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourselves. Much appreciated, good fellow. So where to begin? I mean, I was expecting some resistance, like, you know, they have to keep all the reserves for the Exodus, but whatever. Okay, let's talk the cooking way. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that certainly's given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what's your opinion of grapes? I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Meh, ghastly things. I like grapes. I prefer red grapes than green ones, but I can definitely eat both. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Okay, where's the next one? Let's talk to cooking away. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the colour? Who cares? Let's see. Yes, that's equal parts sweet and sour. As with grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Urianger about my expanded vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous so. They still are, in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I have yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what is in that field over there. Okay, which field? Ah, over here. So let's go. I've learned that you can't mount up when you have these people accompanying you. So that colour, that texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots? Are they pumpkins? No, in any case, proper non-culture is less of a concern than the taste. I'm kind of indifferent to pumpkins. Don't like them, I don't hate them. Bleh, it's so hard and flavourless. I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than more misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop. Can't you see that these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. You not find it an awful bother? Far from it, cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. And perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, if there is anything even more delicious. How about the yellow fruit over yonder? He's not going to eat a whole, like a lemon, is he? I don't think he'll like that. The lemon or an apricot? What wondrous fragrance. With luck, it'll have flavour to match. As I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. Blech! Yeah, it must be a lemon. My tongue. Is this poison? A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? It may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. Cool. Speak with Jebka. So finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges, less so the pumpkin though. I learned the hard way that they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver. I still feel so violated. First time was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth in more ways than one. So I'll give you the lemon muffin I baked. If it doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to, a bit of sick came up there, learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst. This is delicious. Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I want to eat lemon chicken. I miss having lemon chicken. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rather use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. Know that the forum agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Our choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Heidelin sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loperits, we were both from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements of survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. It is a paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect. To be content with what we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Pardon my Yorzun, but what in the seven hells are you talking about? And who are you anyway? Cooking Way, at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. And don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of FFXIV's species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? Okay. Alright, let's go back and let's catch up with Cooking Way. Okay. So that was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Since La Misa is home to the Culinarians Guild and many less than savory establishments, the Far East has oodles of noodles. I like noodles. So, would that I had time to visit. The more I learn of FFXIV, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Eidlin's orders are to flee, and not to resist. If only there was some other way. Cool, that's complete. The next quest is called Sage Council. So Urianger appears to be tallying the Loporits in preparation for an imminent departure. Mithrie, I trust thy time at Meriol Agronomics did bear fruit. Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt, I guess, relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. The last time is of the essence. Let's return to Charlie and Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loporit there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Okay. Oh. Alright, so let's, I think we can teleport straight there. Okay. Where are they? There they are. Let's talk to Growing Way. Sigh. Yes, Mithrie, that was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for FFXIV at Logiscon Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Blackshroud is quite leafy indeed, and a place of utmost tranquility. There, Vermin at least, the trees of Dravania stand particularly proud. You should see the forest of the first. One was purple. Let's do bias towards Gridania. Born and raised. Blackshroud is where I spent most of my days. Gasp, gasp, I say. With a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard my tiny voices. Tancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing Desata could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not, though, aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up for the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in the need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him? Tis as good a place as any. Come. Okay. Let's catch up with them. Okay, we caught up with the troubled researcher. Oh, can I help you? Is you who would help me? Is my anxiety truly so obvious? Burden shared is a burden eased. Pray tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity, and that it's built with peerless, elegant technology, is all true, but I know that's that's a guarantee. I probably read that wrong. We've never before launched a star-faring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us then, what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or on the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the Afterburner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears? Oh, I'm not sure about that, but well. If only they could all teleport, eh? Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? And what if everyone floats about and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Ah, gravitation. Maybe I can help after all. Up there is no so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yeah, if Thancred's tale to be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loperits to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Ephorus, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Mithrie, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek out thee of the distressed and apprehension, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, and that I might introduce each to a suitable Loperit. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loperit, and every Loperit in their place. Okay. So we have to find 8 troubled Charlians. So let's go. Okay, we caught up with the first one. So what am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and surgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us. To say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. The crew from the moon? Why did I not think of that? Alright. Alrighty. So, is anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a voice and played it as a piano. My feet and knees as drums and cymbals. This cleaner seems fine, if in need of a break. Fair enough. Alright, let's find someone else. My face? What's wrong with my... Ow, perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that the proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there. Including the Loperits in our discussion is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue. Interesting. And there's someone right here. Let's talk to them. Consult our collaborators. I suppose that would be more effective than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips. Should the Aether burning make our original estimates unfeasible? But there are simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Alright. So just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologize. I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? You know a starship pilot that I might speak with, truly? Well then, there's no time to waste. They can help me prepare for this monumental task. So, the end of the world is nigh, and yet the work goes on faster. Schedules are such temperamental things. Feasible one moment, utter bollocks the next. And yeah, I've never felt so alive. This one is beyond your help. Only sleep can save her now. Alright. Okay, let's talk to this person. So concerns. Nay, there's no point in worrying at this stage. It'll only make the work go much slower. Okay, she's coping well. Alright. Okay, here's the next one. So apologies, but I'm awaiting a delivery. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. It seems this cleaner's too busy to chat, for his benefit or otherwise. Okay, let's talk to this guy. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering through the sea of stars on God's know what, made by gods know who. You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing. I hope they like questions. Alrighty. Okay, so here's the next one. So, worries? No, I believe I'm fine, thank you. I've been confiding in my colleagues and it's helped a lot. I can't recommend it enough. So this researcher is fine. Alright. Okay, here's the next one. How might I help you? Oh, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only to track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer up everyone goes well. Woman is doing better than you are. Alright. Okay, let's talk. So, 56 bunches of weeds on the ground, 56 bunches of weeds, rip one out, add it to the mound, 55 bunches of weeds on the heap. I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, and then I found myself unable to relax at all. I went on a walk, and then I noticed these weeds, and... pleasant conversation, partners, and oh so fuzzy. Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. Okay. Okay, so we got to the next one. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what dying feels like? Oh, do pardon me, I didn't see you there. There is no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern, even though we may need to depart at any moment. And if the hull I assigned buckles under the strain, that vessel may explode on launch, claiming countless lies and dooming all of mankind. And what is highly unlikely, yes, highly unlikely, our visitors can help me triple check the structural flaws, you say? Why, that would be wonderful. I'm breathing more easily already. Alright. Okay. So, you idiot, have you seen an envelope lying about? This imbecile refuses to give me the alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment. Unless your friends have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my damned envelope, I doubt they'll be more help than you. And you've wasted enough of my time already. It would be unfortunate for all involved to inflict this man upon the Loperis. Alright. Okay. Talk to the next one. That's it, assistants. Where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg pardon, but I not have time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that AFA levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery. and it seems that I shall have to do so single-handedly. I swear, when I find those assistants of mine, the Loperists are willing to help. Why didn't you say so? At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks, lazy sods. Cool. So we're finally done. So let's go back to Urianger. Okay, let's talk to Urianger. So behold, Mithrie. Through thine efforts, word has spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated, Living Way doth gather more Loperists as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, and new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee. Okay.
So much in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
'Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget.
I mean, they've mentioned Papalimo twice now. Maybe he's going to reappear.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yes, I am.
Vilfson and Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Arthur, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where. Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while. Arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you, too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Fair enough. Alright, let's talk to Urianger. Oh, Mithrie, be assured that I am fine. I am. Full glad to see them too after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, 'twould have been far harder had I faced them alone. Cool. Alright, let's complete the quest. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys.